Mari.
Hey, Mari!
So if you had asked me a year ago if I would be up here on the stage giving an Ignite at a summit, I would have told you that you're crazy, because that's not the kind of thing that I do. My name is Mari, and I am an introvert. When we think about introverts, that's what we usually think about. We think about the weirdos, we think about the loners, we think about the shy ones in the corner that have poor social skills, and that couldn't be further from the truth. That's not what an introvert is. Introverts often have great social skills, they're friendly, they're people persons, but they prefer not to process things out loud. They prefer to process things in their thoughts. Here's my full Myers-Briggs to give you some context on me. And my introvert is about 72%. So really, I am pretty hardcore in my introversion. If you're interested in doing it, there's a bit.ly down there, go ahead and try it out. And it wasn't until college that I really understood that being an introvert is okay. We did Myers-Briggs as part of RA training. I was an RA for 3 years. And that was the first time that introvert as a label was applied to me. And I accepted it and owned it. And it was something that was very empowering to me, realizing that I'm not weird for not liking to go out. I'm not weird for not liking to hang out with large groups of friends. I'm not weird for preferring to get coffee with a friend at 8 in the morning than going to a party leaving at 10 p.m. And that was really empowering for me. Another empowerment for me as a teacher is being able to find my voice. Through Twitter and through blogging, I've had a platform where I'm on an equal level with the extroverts, with the loud voices around me, and where what I have to say is valuable to the people around me. And I have my inner extrovert here. This is Fluffy. Fluffy is my unicorn. And Fluffy, some of us have met Fluffy, and you've met Fluffy. And it's just my internal extrovert coming out for sometimes at conferences. And when I get home, then Fluffy goes away and waits. Because I can function as an extrovert. If you meet me, you probably don't think, oh, she's an introvert. You think, oh, she's social, she's good at this, but I tell you, I'll go home and I'll want to talk to no one for a good 12 hours. So how does this apply to our classrooms? These are my Avid kids from last year, and when we look at our classrooms, we see the different labels we put on kids. We have our English learners, we have our special education students, we have our homeless foster kids, we have our gifted students. But we really undersell our classrooms if we don't consider the introverts and the extroverts. So here's how we can address this. In your classroom, think about who are your extroverts? Who are your strong extroverts that are steamrollers? That their voice has to be heard above everyone else's no matter what? And who are your introverts? The first thing we can do to make sure that our introverts are heard in our classrooms is to make sure that we create a safe space where all voices are heard, welcomed, and encouraged. I remember back in 9th grade in Mrs. Reed's 9th grade English class, we just read Pride of the Living Country, which is one of the best books that I had read in high school, and we did a Socratic seminar. I was too terrified to say a single word in the Socratic seminar because I didn't know how to get into that conversation. I would have written you a 10-page essay, no problem. But speaking in a conversation, there was no way, no how. In my own classroom with my students, we do Socratic seminars, but there's prep work behind it. The students are writing down first what they have to say. They're turning to their wing people and discussing in groups of 3 their ideas before entering the conversation. And in those conversations, we've built up enough empathy in my classroom where the stronger voices will turn to a quieter kid and say, hey, what do you have to say? What are your thoughts? and then give them space to speak. We can also make sure we scaffold these opportunities for students to learn these communication skills, to be given a voice. Things like having students turn to a partner to talk in a small group and walking around to hear those conversations in a smaller setting. Allowing students to say, my partner thinks, to take off the pressure of saying what you actually said. And then there's wait time. On average, teachers wait 1.7 seconds after asking a question before they move on and call on students. Research has shown that you need at least 3 seconds to process before a student can give an answer. And by waiting 3 or more seconds, students will give higher quality answers and more students will voluntarily participate, and students who don't normally participate. And last, student voice does not always equal speaking. If you haven't already read it, no matter introvert, extrovert, Susan Cain's book, Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking, is an excellent analysis of this idea of introverts and their value. And she says that there's zero correlation between being the best talker and having the best ideas. And we see that in our classrooms. We need to give students a place where they can give feedback, maybe on a Post-it note instead of saying it out loud. Maybe allowing students to go outside and work in small groups, away from the noise and away from the chaos of the collaboration happening inside. Maybe that means having a discussion on Google Classroom rather than face-to-face, or collaborating on a Google Doc rather than in a group. That could also mean making sure that there is a place and a time for students to collaborate in a setting where they are comfortable. So I leave you with this. How will you empower all voices in your classroom?